How's it going, guys, and welcome to the third episode of Career Mode. Now, we start the episode off by selling David Dunn to West Ham. Grrr, West Ham. But no, obviously I don't need him, so he's off to West Ham. I'm perfectly fine with getting a little bit more money because, of course, we have spent most of the transfer budget mainly on Kurt Zouma, but I do want a little bit more money as a sort of a safety bit of money, if you know what I mean. Like, I like to have a little bit of money left. I don't know why, really. I never want to spend the entire budget. I always want to have a little bit left over, just in case I find someone on transfer deadline day, even though I've pretty much got the entire squad I want. But Florian Gardo declined a contract offer. We're going to send him another one because he's got an underscore at the end of his name and all that, get him to the club. But Gary Medine gives Sheffield Wednesday the lead here at Hillsborough, and unfortunately this is one of the games where I just thought to myself, you know, I'm just not going to play well, and I didn't. I knew I wouldn't, and it was one of those games really where there was like no positives to take out of it. I mean, you know, like even when I lose a game, there's usually like a few positives to take out of it. You know, maybe some unlucky defense, or maybe some decent shots well saved by the goalkeeper. But you know, it was a really poor game. You know, I deserved to lose that one. It was the first time I lost, but yeah, that was a really poor game, and I deserved to get beat by Sheffield Wednesday. But Florian Gardo underscore. Thanks to everyone that told me that he had a sort of a weird S at the end of his name, so it's actually Florian Gardos, but I'm going to call him Florian Gardo underscore because that's what he's listed as. But yeah, he comes into the club, which is awesome news, and we take on Watford in the next game. I rested a few players because obviously it's basically a Saturday to Tuesday night game, so not everyone's going to be 100% fit, but this is an awesome game. Michel Weiser and in particular Jordan Slew had an absolutely amazing game, and Slew picks up his first goal here of the Empower Championship season. Lovely finish. He's going to be a great impact sub. You know, he was here when I obviously joined the club. He's got like 90 sprint speed and 90 acceleration, and this happens. What have I said before about giant throw-ins? I fucking love them. That's one of the funniest goals you'll see in FIFA. Almunia comes to the punch and just completely fails. And yeah, I might make Ryan Shot my number 2, to be honest, because that's the right back's number. But you know, as you saw in the last episode, I'm a bit trivial when it comes to kit numbers. I try and like make it realistic. I mean, 19 is not a bad number, obviously, but you know, for my first choice right back, I went to have number 2. But you know, I just made sure that it's not unrealistic. You know, I mean, like imagine having a goalkeeper with number 11. You know, it just doesn't happen. So. Lol. But I just wanted to squeeze that in. But no, the next game is away at Ellen Road to take on Leeds. And Leeds, obviously, another side where this will be like an early 6-pointer clash. No doubt about that. And obviously, you see the league table here, just 1 point between the first two teams. And Paul Robinson makes an amazing save here. He looks like he's going to be a great keeper for me, even though he's like 34 years old. And we take the lead on the counter-attack just 3 minutes in. This is a game where, honestly, if you know this is a real-life game, the neutrals would have just loved it. Josh King gives us the lead just 4 minutes in. A lovely chip over Paddy Kenny. And just a great counter-attack. You know, Blackburn's so good at passing and moving and, you know, just playing the counter-attack game. I always like to make sure a team's good on the counter-attack, and Blackburn seem to be just as good as Brighton and Spurs were when I was with them my last Manager Mode series. But El Hadj Diouf equalises for Leeds here, the worst than a sewer rat kind of player that Neil Warnock described him as, and now signed a long-term contract, scores. And we score here, another like really nice pass and move goal. Teeth cuts inside Leeds and smashes the ball past Paddy Kenny. He's been a great signing, Teeth, you know. I did say at the start of the series he was my first signing, and he could be a really good player, really useful playmaker, and he is looking just like that. He's been absolutely superb so far. There was another really nice counter-attack goal here. Ryan Shotton, what a ball this is out wide. Originally for Kazim Richards, ended up going to Josh King. His cross in, the ball goes up in the air. Latif, he can't be that tall. I mean, he doesn't look that tall, but he really does win a lot of headers. He must have a really good jumping style or something, because he looks like he's like 5'7", 5'8". Yeah, he scored like 2 headers already. That was his second one. And yeah, that made it 3-1 to Blackburn. But unfortunately, in injury time, Leeds did manage to get a consolation goal. Luke Varney, the former Blackpool player, with a good finish past Paul Robinson. A lovely turn to free himself in the area. But 3-2 the final score. A really crucial 3 points. And I was absolutely delighted with that win. And yeah, it just means that, of course, we do go top of the table and stay there. But the next game was in the Capital One Cup, second round against Wycombe Wanderers. And I felt really confident here, so I rested pretty much my entire side. Because Wycombe, obviously, a League Two side, and travelling to Adams Park, I just felt really confident about getting the win. And just before half time, we did manage to score the first goal of the game. Matt Bloomfield just doing everything he can to stop Formika, but he couldn't. And this is an awesome goal. Like, you just see the passing here. Like, you know, I could have shot like twice with 2 different players, but I thought, no, just keep passing, and eventually the ball will be easily tapped in by Jordan Slew, and it was. And that made it 1-0 to Blackburn. Delighted with that goal. And just after the hour mark, it was another really nice sort of counter. You just see Blackburn just break out here. Formika in particular, he was like the hub in this game. He was always sort of bursting forward, and you see here he just carries on his run. It's really nice to see a player do that, and this is like a really nice goal. Michel Weiser does cock this up in just a minute here, but he managed to regain possession of the ball, and this is just a really nice goal. Slew with a dummy, placed the ball into Formika, and that is just gorgeous. What a touch, and what a finish by, I want to call him Argentinian, but I'm not entirely sure. But it was a lovely goal regardless. I really like that goal. You know, everything about it was nice, and yeah, once again, I just had to show the sliders because, you know, I may have the sliders down to 1 or 100 and stuff. I still don't know how they work, like whether 1's a good one or whether 100's a good one. I imagine 100's the best one and 1's the bad one, but I don't know. Anyway, there you go, there's the sliders. But yeah, I'm going to make sure I don't show that all the time, but you know, just every now and then, just to sort of just clear up the proof that I'm not playing on amateur and using sliders and shit. But Leon Best here, the former Newcastle striker, with a lovely strike past the goalkeeper to make it 3-0. We were cruising. I sort of just took my foot off the gas pedal at this point. Wickham did manage to get themselves a consolation goal. Nothing that Gaza could do about that, as Grant heads the ball into the back of the net. But 3-1 is the final score. So through to the next round of Capital One Cup. Absolutely delighted with that, and I really do hope we can have a good cup run in this competition, because I really feel we can get somewhere in this competition. But transfer deadline day comes about, and it was a really boring transfer deadline day. It wasn't interesting in any players. Really got the squad I want already for the long-term future. But I thought I'd just get Luke Shaw in on loan just for defensive cover. I've got the money to pay his wages, and I'll just get the defensive cover. Southampton say that's perfectly fine. So Luke Shaw comes in, and I think that is the only bit of business in this transfer deadline day. So as always, guys, a big thank you for watching today's episode. I won't have an episode out until Saturday, I would presume, but I will have an episode of his journey out tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, look forward to that, and I'll see you then. Cheers.